everybody, it's Jessica from Double the Stitches here, and I have a quick video for you today to teach you how to do mosaic knitting in the round. This is a technique that I used when I designed my Sunshine and Shade cowl. Because it's a tube, we're working it in the round. Most of the time when you see mosaic knitting, it's something that is worked back and forth in rows, but because this cowl is a tube, we worked it in the round. So it's a little bit different as you knit it. The main difference is that instead of knitting on both sides, you're going to purl every other row while slipping stitches also. So I wanted to do a video so that you can see it in action and it would make you more comfortable as you do the knitting, especially if you've never done any mosaic before. I want to say that mosaic is really my most favorite way to do color work. It is easy. It doesn't have the same stress that you'll find if you've never done Fair Isle or Intarsia. Those can be a little bit more complex because you're working with multiple strands of yarn, and maybe with Intarsia you've got yarn on different bobbins. With mosaic, you're only having to worry about working with one strand of yarn at a time. And in between the knit or the purl stitches, you are slipping the stitches to carry the color up into the next row. My favorite thing about the way that I designed this cowl, besides that it's in the round so it's seamless, is also that the mosaic chart switches in the middle. So your main color, you'll start out, working light on dark, and then you'll reverse that and it's dark on light. But in the pattern, to make it as easy and accessible for everybody, because everyone has their favorite ways of following patterns, you'll find that there are the written instructions for both, and also the instructions are charted for the repeats. So it will make it much easier for you to follow. If you're brand new to mosaic, you may like the ability to kind of compare both the visual representation that's in the chart, and this is what a mosaic chart looks like, just to give you a little peek. Okay, so you are knitting, you'll have the opportunity, you can compare kind of the written instructions to the visual chart, and that may make it easier for you to get an idea of if you have everything going correctly. In order to prepare for today's video, I have set up a few rows of stripes similar to what is part of the cowl. I didn't work the whole repeat of the stripes, just a few, so that you would have an idea of where you're coming from in the pattern and where you're headed. I also did the first row, the first round of the mosaic, which has you just purl across all the stitches in color B, so that you didn't have to just watch me purl, and we could jump right into to the meat of the technique, to the fun stuff, the good stuff. So I finished that round. I slipped my beginning of the row marker. I've got my stitch markers ready as I go. In round 2, we are going to place the markers. As you pass them on future rounds, those you'll just slip and you won't have to worry about that. But the markers are going to go every 14 stitches as we knit. I'm going to also put the written instructions for the rows that we discuss here in the pattern are going to be in the comments down below, and that will help you to follow along. And so we are ready to work round 2. So the repeat for round 2 is knit 2. And then there's some instructions in parentheses, and that is slip 2, knit 1. And we're going to do what's in parentheses 4 times and then place a marker. And that'll get us to the 14 stitches. So you're going to make sure you don't want to pull too tight when you carry the yarn up but to the next round, but here we go. So there's my marker. And we're going to pick up the stitch we dropped. All right, we're going to knit 2. Now we are going to purl the stitches with the yarn held in the back. The yarn is in the back. We're going to slip them purlwise, because if we slip them knitwise, then we're going to twist our stitches. So slip 2, knit 1. Okay, We're going to do that 3 more times and then place a marker. So slip 2 with yarn in back, knit 1. I'm going to do it 2 more times, slip 2, knit 1. We're going to do it 1 more time, slip 2 purlwise with the yarn in back, knit 1. Okay, and now we're ready to place a marker. We're going to count our stitches, make sure we've got 14. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. The number of stitches between each marker as you knit remains the same throughout the pattern. When you are knitting the stripes, you can take off the markers and just keep going around. Leave that different marker, that beginning of the round marker. It will make it much easier for you because you want to know where each round should start and stop. And the first repeat, I showed you continental with this, which is the yarn in the left. And now I'm going to show you traditional or English style. So I placed the marker after the first repeat, and now I'm up to the second one. So the instructions are knit 2, and now we have that little repeat in parentheses that we are going to work 4 times, and that is slip 2. We're slipping 2 purlwise with the yarn in the back, and knit 1, slip 2, knit 1, slip 2, knit 1, and one more time is slip 2 and knit 1. We're going to double check, especially since this is the first repeat, make sure that we have the 14 stitches between. So here's this marker. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And now I can place my next stitch marker, and I'll continue this all the way around, and I will be right back and I will show you how to work round 3. Hi friends, I am back and I have finished working round 2 of the first mosaic section, and I've got all of my stitch markers in place. So I have my beginning of round marker, and then I have 5 other markers, so that we have a total of 6 sections, 6 repeats of the stitch pattern. So here we are, we're going to do round 3. So before I start actually knitting it, I want to explain it to you. Because we're doing the mosaic stitch in the round, and we want to have these, the garter ridge, garter stitch for the mosaic, we need to purl the every other round, and that's going to give us those bumps, the purl bumps. So the instructions for round 3, and this is the same for all of the odd rounds of the mosaic sections. It says, with the same color yarn as the previous round, purl the knit stitches and slip the slipped stitches purlwise. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and first I will show you with the yarn in my left, and then I will show you with the yarn in my right. So this is round 3. So we are we're working with color A, and we're going to bring the yarn in the front to purl 2, bring the yarn to the back and slip the 2 stitches, purl 1, bring the yarn to the back, slip the 2 stitches in the other color, yarn to the front so that we can purl, slip the 2 stitches, yarn to the front, to purl. So it's that back and forth. It's almost like if you were knitting ribbing and you bring the yarn to the back to knit and to the front to purl, but instead of knitting those stitches, you are slipping them. Yarn to the front, the last one. So whenever you see a stitch that is the same color of the yarn that you're holding in your hand, those are the stitches that you are going to purl. When you see a stitch that is in your other color, those are the ones that you're going to slip, and that is what will bring that color up into the next row. So you're still working with just the one color of yarn, but you're either slipping or purling in this case. Now I'm going to show you how to work the next repeat. I'm going to show that to you with the yarn held in my right hand. And I am going to purl 2, put the yarn in the back so that I can slip 2, yarn to the front, to purl, slip, whoop, I made a whoopsie, yarn to the back to slip, yarn to the front to purl, yarn to the back to slip, yarn in front to purl, okay, so that is the second repeat there. So I've shown you once where it was continental with the yarn in the left, and the second repeat is with the yarn in the right for traditional or English style knitting. I hope this video helped. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love it if you subscribed, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks so much. Bye.